All right, greetings, class. Welcome to week number 2. That is right, week number 2 of your 7305 Foundations of Library and Information Science course. As always, I am your professor, Dr. Jace Austin, and today we will be, just during this check-in video, we will be discussing two things that I think will be very helpful for you as you are attempting to put your annotated bibliographies together for this week's due assignment, as the annotated bibliography is going to be due this coming Sunday night. So there are two things that I want to tell you, or show you, I should say, that will help you as you are looking for the literature for your annotated bibliography. Before I get into that, I do just want to give a few kudos. You all did very well on your first week of discussion board posts, and everybody turned in assignment number 1 on time. So give yourselves, yes. So that is the type of thing that I like to see. Your discussion prompts for week 1 have already been graded. The assignments not yet, but they will be graded during the course of the week. And aside from that, we will be preparing, as I said, to turn in those annotated bibliographies. Keep it up. I even saw in the discussion that people were posting in the student free-for-all. Please do not underestimate the power of that, you all. Like I said, you all should be networking, like right now, like in library school. Make friends in library school. That helped me out tremendously as I was hitting the job market after library school. And I'm still very much in touch with several people that I attended library school with. And I was in library school from 2006 to 2008. So it has been well over a decade since I completed library school. And yet I am still in contact with people that I graduated with. So please do not forget that. Please meet people. Please pay attention to what people say in the discussion prompts. And if there's somebody that you like, that you kind of vibe with, if you want to, I don't know if Canvas is letting you all message each other or not, but if you want somebody to have your contact information, then reach out to me by email and just say, hey, Dr. Jace, I saw such and such. I like this person. I was hoping you could pass my email on to them, and just email that to me, and I will pass your contact information to whomever you wanted to link up with. It will be on them to get back in touch with you. I'm not going to force them to network with you. However, if you are wise, you will start networking, and you will start networking now. So now that I've gotten that out of the way, I want to tell you all about two things. Oh, also, if you haven't checked my announcement about the APA capitalization, please check that as well. It amazes me that I can actually tell people how to do this. I can give them the section of the APA style guide that talks about capitalization, and I can give them examples from the Purdue OWL as to how it looks. And even after I do all that, I don't know if people just ignore me because it's fun or something like that, but they will still not do what the style guide is telling them to do. So that's why I try to offer that help, because I want to deduct points from as few students as possible. And if you pay attention to that announcement, then that will allow me to not have to deduct points for improper capitalization in your references list. Okay, so let's talk about two things that should help you with this, or could potentially help you with this annotated bibliography. One of those things is going to be what we used to call Journal Finder, but they no longer call it that these days because it's so commonplace, and now people just call it the Find a Journal application, I guess. But I'm going to teach you how to find journal articles if you don't already know. And then I am also going to teach you about interlibrary loan. So if you are familiar with using interlibrary loan, or you are, and I should say and instead of or. If you are, that's your Boolean logic. If you are familiar with using interlibrary loan and you are familiar with doing journal finder type exercises, then you can probably stop the video now. But if you're not familiar with these things, it's probably going to take me about 15 minutes to get through both. But once I do, trust me, this will help you with your annotated bibliography, and it can help you with other things as well. So let's get into it. Pause. All right, so what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm actually going to go ahead and do these things in Firefox in a different browser from the Chrome that I'm using to record here. And that way we can get a good feel for the process. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm doing here and why. Okay. Let's see here. Actually, I am going to open up two browsers here. Two tabs. Okay, so I've got a tab for Mizzou Libraries. And there's one of my former students, Levi. Congratulations, Levi. Yeah, he deserves that job. And that's my former chair. Okay, and let's look here, and we've got Google Scholar open, and we've got the library page open. So, let's say that you are looking for articles in your annotated bibliography, and let's say that you did go to Google Scholar to try to find some, and let's say that you were doing, what are we doing? Let's do intellectual freedom and academic libraries. Why not? All right. So I am going to pause this as I scroll to find something that would be useful. Hold on. All right, so if you like football the way that I like football, then you might be familiar with the not so greatest commentator of all time, but certainly somebody who gets the job done, Mr. Chris Collinsworth. And Mr. Chris Collinsworth always says, now here's a guy, and so I was looking for the guy. And I think this is the guy. So I am going to say, so here's the guy, or now here's a guy, as he would say. So now here's a guy who doesn't have an open access link in Google Scholar. If you are searching for things in Google Scholar, if you see these little PDF or HTML links beside something, then that is generally an open access link. And that means that you are looking at something that you will always, I shouldn't say always, but you will have access to without actually needing to log into any library services. So for instance, if I wanted to use this one here, Academic Library Use of Facebook, if I click this, then yeah, I'm just getting, okay. I was going to say I'm just getting an abstract, but then it just loaded the entire thing. So what do I know, I guess? Let's try this one. Still the same thing. Okay, so yeah, if you see these links, there's a good chance that you're dealing with something that is open access completely. So that's how that is, but let me again go back here, and I hate that these are popping up. They're making it look a little messier, but let's look at this right here, okay? You see that there's nothing right there. So we don't have an open access link like we do, again, right there. I'm not actually going to download that, but you know what I mean. So let's click this. Now, as you can see, all you have here is an abstract. If we click full article, then we are sent to a paywall. You see that? All right. So how do we work around this? How do we try to get this article if we don't have open access and we don't have a link here? Well, the first thing we should do before we try interlibrary loan is to see if we have access to that article in our Mizzou Libraries catalog. So, if you wanted to try that, you can go to library.missouri.edu. You'll be brought here eventually. There we go. Okay, so you'll be brought to this page, back to where Levi is, and what we can do is try to see if we have access to our journal, which is Public Library Quarterly. So we look for a specific journal and we type that journal title in, Public Library Quarterly. And we click search. And from there, we will see that, yes, we do have it. It's come up. And we have supposedly full text access from 1997 to the present online. And then also, if you need paper copies, then you probably need to reach out to the library for some assistance there, but they will be happy to help. But it's always good when we have this full text access online here. And like I said, we've got it from 1997 to the present. Now, the question is, when did this appear? It appeared in 2016. So we are going to hope that this means that we have access to the 2016 copy of this. I'm going to log in. And here we are, 2016. So you want to make sure that, again, 2016, and it is saying volume 35 and issue 2. We'll need to remember that. So volume 35, as we were just saying, issue 2, as we were just saying. Click on that, and we'll be brought here. The title of our article is what? Access and Express. So, okay, there it is, Access and Express. And as you can see, we've got abstract, full text, references, and the PDF. You can click this full text. And whereas before, if you remember, we were barred by a paywall on Google Scholar, but now we are looking at the full text of this article right here. Okay? And then there is the PDF that would be available for download. All right? So please, if you did not follow exactly what I did there, that's why I make a video that you can rewind. Try to, and if you need to, you can even slow down the video. Now, I know I talk slow, so nobody probably needs to. But if you need to watch that again to see the process, and if you need to slow it down, you can slow down the video pretty much with the same tool option that you would use to speed it up. And I showed you that last week. Okay? So that is how you can check, just to double check and make sure that the library may actually have something that you found online or found in Google Scholar that was behind a paywall. Always check to see if there is a version of something that is paywalled that you can get for free going through the library. So that is the first thing to do. Now let's talk about interlibrary loan. Pause. Okay, so now that you have seen the side of things that would cause you to use Journal Finder, now what I need to let you know is if you run into something that you really, really want, or that you just kind of want, you don't have to really, really want it, but if you find something that you kind of want and you attempt to find it on the Journal Finder app through the library and you see that we don't have that coverage, then your other option is interlibrary loan. And interlibrary loan basically is a network of libraries throughout the world sharing materials with each other without violating copyright. So they do copyright clearances and things of that nature to make sure that they are legally allowed to share what they are sharing. So interlibrary loan is something else for you to look into, but I would try to find the material through your available resources, through the databases and through Journal Finder and things like that from Mizzou before using interlibrary loan. Now, right now, interlibrary loan does not we are not borrowing books and physical materials through interlibrary loan right now. When the whole COVID issue gets beyond where it's at right now, we'll be there. But we are not there currently. So basically, libraries are not loaning physical materials or sharing physical materials with each other because we don't know exactly how the virus spreads on materials yet, and we just need to keep our patrons safe. So I hope that's understood. However, e-resources are still being interlibrary loaned, and a lot of these articles specifically that you might be trying to get are things that you can get through interlibrary loan as e-resources, and most interlibrary loan requests are fulfilled within 72 hours. I'm not going to say they all are, but most interlibrary loan requests for e-resources, for things like articles in e-journals and things like that, those will be fulfilled again, usually within 72 hours. So especially if you start, I'm recording this Monday and I will upload this on Monday. If you start researching Tuesday and you do need interlibrary loan, you should hopefully get what you need by Friday in order to turn in your annotated bibliography by Sunday. But then still, you can put in interlibrary loan requests for things that are not things that you might use on your annotated bibliography, but you might use them in your literature review, which will be the next assignment, and that's perfectly fine too. So having said that, now that I've explained it and probably over-explained it, let me just show you how the process works. So I have already seen that this is not available in our e-resources, so I've saved you that step. So let's say you wanted this here, Librarians and Intellectual Freedom from 1982. So that's before I was born even. Not long before I was born, but technically before I was born. Are opinions changing? And you can click that. And we do not have any type of full text access. Let me move myself there just so you can see. But we have what we need in order to put in a request. So if we're going to put in a request, what we will do, I don't know why I'm there, we will go to the library homepage, which again is library.missouri.edu. And you can do either of these actually. But I'm going to keep it old school and go in the old school way. Okay. Log on to Interlibrary Loan at MU. Submit there. Okay. And then what I can do from here, you have all your various forms of things that you can get from Interlibrary Loan. And there are other things, but right now, I think what they're doing is limiting the types of material you can get due to COVID. So I'm not seeing things like videos and things like that, but I'm sure that it was necessary to disable some of these other items that could be interlibrary loaned because it just can't be handled with COVID right now. But we're looking for an article and that is still available. So we can click New Request Articles here in the left. And then we just fill out the required fields. And you can fill out more than the required fields if you want, but you definitely have to get everything with the asterisk. And all of that information should be on the homepage of the journal article that you are looking for. So, for instance, the publication name here is the Wilson Library Bulletin. Okay. I'm just going to copy and paste that in hold on one second. Okay, so I am going to put my publication title here at the top, which is Wilson Library Bulletin. I was looking for where the article title was because I think it's in a different place for UMKC and I have to use both interfaces for different things on my job. But the article title for Mizzou goes here. So this is our article title again, Librarians and Intellectual Freedom, Are Opinions Changing? I can put my article title here. Okay. And the other information will help as well. So I do have a volume number. This is volume 56. Even though this isn't required, as you see here, I'm still going to put it in. volume 56, issue number 8. So I can put an 8 in right there. I do have a month and a year. It's April 1982. 1982. Inclusive pages, hopefully I will have, yes, 584 to 589. Put that in there. Boom. Boom. Okay. And I do like to put the authors in as well, because that also seems to help with access. So I'll copy and paste these two. Article author there. Not wanted after what date? You should usually give them about 2 weeks, but you know, like I said, they're usually fulfilled quicker than that. So I'm actually going to give it 1 week. I'm going to give it until, well, I'll give it until the 22nd. And what's going to happen if you don't get the article, like if they're not able to process the request by whatever date you put here, it's just going to automatically cancel it, okay? So be mindful of that. If you really want something, then give them time just in case. All right. And then after that, you hit submit request. And then I have an outstanding request here, and I just hope that it will come. Once they have located the item, then I will get an email that will give me a download link. I click on the download link in that email, and then I download a PDF or an HTML of that article that I requested, and then I have it. So that's basically how that works. Once they get your article, they will email you to let you know, or if they are unable to get it, they will email you to let you know that as well. So that is what I wanted to show you, and that is my time. I did want to just do a little bit of talking about democracy and information, but especially since that was one of the module topics. However, it was more important for me to get this information out. So next week I may talk a bit about democracy and libraries and information, but I am not going to do it this week in order to keep this video under 25 minutes. So I know it'll be off topic next week, but it's something that I do like to address. Anyway, I've addressed it, what I wanted to address here, and so I am going to let you all do your work and get through the course. I've been Dr. Jace. You have been great. Peace and grace.